I'm with United Healthcare, and I am here to talk about pet insurance and our program with FIGO that you all have access to as a voluntary benefit. So our products that we offer with FIGO support obviously all pet health needs for cats and dogs. We have some plans that I will go into a little further on that allow you to pick coverages specifically for your pet and for your budget. You can select the direct, reimbursement or the deductible that are right for you. And then you can also choose to add in some power up coverages that include features for dental or wellness preventative care as well. And in addition to your policy, there are a few additional benefits that you would have access to as you are a policyholder for your pet's care. One of those is the 24/7 live vet feature. You can use this as it says 24/7 any time of day, and you can speak with a vet professional on questions for your pet. This can be as simple as some maybe training issues for a new puppy or a kitten, to something more complex that maybe you find something that your pet gets hurt and it's 11 o'clock at night and it's off hours, for your vet to be available and you want to get some reassurance to see, is this something that you can wait till morning for, or should you go to an emergency clinic that night? Some of the other things that are available through that Pet Cloud app that you would have access to once you have a policy for your pet is the ability to submit your claims through that app for a quick turnaround with direct deposit back to your account. So what is pet insurance? Pet insurance is what we would see on our human policies, human health insurance, to be able to cover expenses that are accident or illness related, and then the ability to add in preventative care. So types of coverages that pet insurance can help defray costs for or cover are things as large as a surgery or cancer treatments, to routine, maybe ear infections or other types of common illnesses that your pet may have. It really runs the spectrum for what your vet care is and what your pet may need. So there are some additional power-ups, we call them. So in every plan, you have accident and illness-based coverage with the option to add in coverage for wellness, dental, and additional coverages for exam fees, as well as in there is some coverage for behavioral health and an extra care pack that would have some additional coverages outside of what you would traditionally see for accident and illness, and kind of round out what's important for your pet with advertising or reward fees if your pet goes missing, things like that. These are all at an additional cost, and you would see the prices listed for you as you're going through your enrollment. The Pet Cloud. Pet Cloud is an all-in-one app. Once you are enrolled and your pet has a policy, it is a free app that you would download from the Apple Store or the Android Google Play. And this is where you're going to keep everything for your pet, from medical records to being able to access that virtual vet. It also has a community feature. So if you're interested in connecting with other pet parents, sharing your photos, or finding a pet park, a dog park that is convenient nearby, or if you're traveling with your pet, it's a great resource to be able to find local businesses that maybe are pet friendly, or hotels that you could stay at. It also gives you the ability to chat, text, or email with FIGO support team if you have a question on a claim or anything relating to your policy. Your policy documents are automatically loaded in there once you create your account, and it's where you're going to access your claim information. And it is as simple as uploading a picture of your pet's invoice from the vet, answering a few questions that the app will guide you through to include the date of visit, the vet that you saw, the total cost of the visit, and within typically 2 to 3 days, FIGO will return your reimbursement based on the plan information that you pick to the bank account that you designate. I'll also add that virtual vet, the 24/7 virtual vet, is a feature that you can use for all pets in your household, even if you only choose to maybe insure one. If you have multiple pets, there is a multiple pet discount if you want to insure every pet in your home. But if you choose to just insure maybe one pet, uh, sometimes dogs are more popular than cats. And if you have an issue with any other pet in your household, you can still use that virtual vet feature, regardless of whether there is a pet policy attached to that pet. It's also something that can be used 24/7, like I said, but it can be accessed as many times as you need, and it can be accessed with no cost, no pre authorization. For the whole pet insurance product, for your policy, there is no vet network either. So you can choose to see any vet that you have an established relationship with. You can go to an emergency clinic with no prior authorization required, or you can see a vet if you're traveling with your pet. It doesn't need to be in your area from where you sign up from initially. You can see any vet across the country. One of the other benefits that we have that we can offer through United Healthcare is a pharmacy card for your pet's prescriptions. So I put a QR code on here for the site that's listed through Optum Perks. This is a free card that you can download. You can use it to access any pharmacy prescriptions across the network. Over 64,000 pharmacies are available, and many pet prescriptions, you may or may not already realize, are available as humans meds. So there is a great crossover for pet prescriptions. Lots of vets do provide that ability to fill their prescriptions, but if you choose to get a vet prescription filled at a pharmacy, you may find that price to be cheaper, and you can use this pharmacy card, Optum Perks card, to get either for even further discounts on pet prescriptions. So I'm just going to leave this here for another second or two for you to take down this. I'll share this information. So after the recording and the information, if you need to get this link again and you don't grab it now, we'll share it out. So why get pet insurance? I could talk to you all day long about the importance of pet health, and I'm sure you're already aware of it, but we thought it would be best if you also heard from one of your peers. And here's a little story to take from Ella. Here was a situation in which Travis has pet insurance for Ella and found that the 24/7 live vet feature was easy for him to access and to be able to use that to provide care for Ella in a time that was a little uncertain. It was a little stressful to find out that, whether there was something, safe for Ella, a safe at home remedy, given the information that he was sharing out. She got sick in the middle of the night. And then they helped to develop a plan, whether that was to go to their vet after or whatever the situation was at that time. It gave Travis some peace of mind to know that Ella was taken care of well and that they were able to resolve the issue and know that Ella's health was at the forefront of the conversation. So there's lots of things from the pet insurance policies that you can find value from. But the 24/7 feature, this is just one way that pet insurance gives you that peace of mind, the access to be able to take care of your pet's health in a moment's notice for a variety of reasons. And I'll just add in on this statement here too from Travis is that if that live vet feature required a veterinary consult right away, one of the things that they would also be able to do is point you to a vet that would potentially be open and in your area, an emergency clinic, if that was needed. The 24/7 feature, along with the ability to get real access care at a vet when needed, is where pet insurance really helps to put the priority of your pet's health at the forefront, and the financial cost of what that will be, hopefully a little less stressful for everyone. One fun thing, there's a holiday for everything, and so we don't want to leave our pets out. On April 11th, next week, it's National Pet Day. And I know if you have any dogs or cats in your house, you'll be sharing pictures on social media and sharing the love that you have for your pets. And it's a great time to think about pet insurance as well. So the QR code that's on the screen now will take you right to the County Racing's website for your enrollment. That's going to have your plan information in there, your your discount for the premium will already be embedded in there for you. So if you snap a picture of the QR code or use your camera to do that, it'll take you right to the landing page for information on how to enroll. These are direct bill products, meaning you'll put in your credit card information at the time of enrollment, and FIGO will work out with you directly when those payments will come out on a monthly, or you can choose an annual basis. Once you enroll, you'll also receive a welcome kit from FIGO for your pet, and it's going to include a pet tag that has geo-tracking features back to the pet cloud in case you ever have your pet lost. I've had it happen to myself a few times where you open the door and my dog has zoomed right out while I was trying to answer the door. And before I know it, he's down the street and I'm trying to chase after him. So the pet tag would have come in really handy in those situations for me to be able to help track a little bit more on where that location is using the pet cloud. And then also it includes a collapsible water bowl. With summer right around the corner, hopefully. We'll be outside more often, and that water bowl is great for travel. It's easy to stick in a bag and fill up with water whenever you're out with your pet. If you have a question once you're enrolling, you can also give FIGO a call asking about specifics for your pet or potential policy questions. When you call and use that 888 number, make sure that you tell them that you're a County Racing employee so that they can make sure the appropriate discount is applied for you. So I'm going to stop and see if we have any questions. Not hearing any questions yet. So I'm going to pause for a second and I'm going to switch over to show you the enrollment site to give you some live action of what that looks like.
If anybody has any questions along the way, they can put it into the chat as well.
Sounds good. So here is your landing page. So that QR code is going to take you right to this page to start your enrollment journey. When you are ready, you're going to click that Get Quote button. You'll find it right here on the left-hand side or up here on the right. And you're going to put in a few pieces of information about your pet. You're going to let us know, do you have a dog or a cat, male or female, your pet's name, age, and I will point out that all ages are welcome and all breeds. There will be no limit to either of those. So you can see if I put in, we have a dog, there's every breed imaginable listed here. And if for some reason you don't find your pet's breed, there is a mixed breed that you can select. I know a lot of times shelter pets, sometimes the breed isn't always very clear in the documentation that you receive. So there's always those mixed breed options based on weight that you can select if you need to. Your zip code for where you're located and your email address. And it's best to put in a personal email address here rather than any work email address, just so that you can keep that connected later as you go through with the policy. Once you hit that Get Quote button, the next page is going to take you to your enrollment page where you can customize the plan options that you're looking for. So you can see you have 3 options here for max annual coverage. This is on an annual basis, so policies will be for 12 months. There is no lifetime cap. So if for some reason your pet were to have a really bad year with needing a lot of medical attention and seeing the vet often, and maybe you max out at that $5,000 that you select for your policy, then you would have no lifetime cap. So at your renewal after 12 months, everything would reset to zero, and you would still then have an additional $5,000 in coverage if that's where you choose to keep it. You can always move it at a renewal as well. You have the choice to change your reimbursement amount, and you can also change your deductible. And so you can see it will change your premium for you right away with your discount listed right below. Here are the additional power-ups. You have options for wellness. There's 2 different plan options that you can choose from, and these are a specific schedule. So this is the max reimbursement for basic and then for plus that you'll receive for the services related to wellness. So you can use it towards spaying and neutering or teeth cleaning. You can use it for blood tests, microchipping, deworming. There's a whole list of features and the appropriate reimbursement. And the annual coverage for each is $370 for the basic plan and $545 annually for the plus plan. If you have more than one pet, you will do the same thing for each pet, and that additional 5% discount will stack on top for your premium discounts. Once you've made your plan selection, you're going to go to the last page is where you put in your payment information. So on the left-hand side, you'll clearly see where your policy will begin. It will start the day after. So if we are enrolling today, the policy would be effective tomorrow on April 6th. Accident coverage starts the day after. So there's just a 1-day waiting period for accident. And then there's a 14-day waiting period for illness. So illness coverage would begin on April 20th. Orthopedic coverage is a 6-month waiting period, but you can have that cut down to 30 days, or yes, cut down within the first 30 days if you have a form completed when you go to the vet. If you have a vet visit scheduled in the first 30 days and they complete a orthopedic exam and submit that back to FIGO, you can waive that 6-month period by having that completed early. As you go in, you're putting in your own information as to your name, address, phone number. Here is your personal email that you'd want to use. I have a sample in here that you would use for the Pet Cloud when you set up that account. And then your employee ID, and this is where you're going to enter that number right here. Here's where you can select your payment information. So again, you can choose between monthly and annual, and it summarizes what you would have selected on the page before, what was the reimbursement, annual, cap, and the deductible that you selected, and any power up. So if I had picked that wellness, it would have included it here. And then FIGO is going to let you know when your account will get charged every month and what that first payment will look like. You add in your payment information and you'll receive everything from FIGO from thereafter. Information on how to download the Pet Cloud, how to set up your account, how to find your policy documentation, and then all the information you'll need to submit claims thereafter, as well as how to access the 24/7 live vet and all the other features of the Pet Cloud. That wraps up a lot of what I wanted to share with you all today on the plans, the features, the additional benefits, and how you go about enrolling. So I guess I'll stop here again and see if there are any other questions that may have popped up.
Hey, Shelly, this is Ani. Could you, on that, can you go to the second page where it shows, or second or third page where it shows the deductible? Yeah, that one. Mm-hmm. So when we first partnered with FIGO, I went on here and just kind of played around. And so I just wanted to let everybody know how easy this is. I haven't done it yet, and so I was looking forward to this webinar to learn a little bit more. But this is the part that I thought was super cool because, you know, everybody has a specific amount that they're willing to spend basically a month. And so you can really, you know, fluctuate what you want for your reimbursement, what you want for your deductible, and it really changes those dollar amounts to hopefully something that you think that you can cover. Shelly, when we talk about deductibles, I think everybody knows what a deductible is, but can you explain specifically what reimbursement means and what deductible means?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, it can be as flexible as you're sharing. And so the deductible is, these are going to work very similar to what auto and home policies do. The deductible is the first out of pocket for you. So the amount that is not covered with that first visit. So for example, say you have a $300 vet visit and that deductible you selected is $250. The $250 will be paid by you first. Anything over that is then subject to what that reimbursement is. So in a $100 vet bill, assuming that you've already met your deductible where you've paid that out of pocket with prior visits, then your reimbursement is what do you get back out of that invoice. So in this case, if I selected a 70% reimbursement and my vet bill is $100, I would get $70 back. So between the two features, you do have some out of pocket, but in the case of vet bills adding up and multiple vet visits, most people do take their pet to the vet at least 2 to 3 times during the year. This is where the deductible and the reimbursement can really put money back in your pocket after you have met that initial deductible. The reimbursement is how much from each vet bill do you want to have reimbursed back to you. And then
Thank you.
Oh, sure. I think I see a few questions coming. Help me and let me know. I'm not sure I can see them all. If you wouldn't mind reading them if you have them. The other thing I will let everybody know is the link, this initial link, the QR code that we shared, this is open all year round. So, you know, if you decide you're thinking about having a pet, you know, with the weather coming, it's usually a good time for people to adopt pets. If you do that later in the year, you're still eligible to come in here and enroll. That being said, also, maybe you've been thinking about it for a while and you just haven't decided when the right time is. You can come in and make this enrollment and look at the plans, get a quote, and decide to enroll at any point during the year.
I'm only seeing one question so far, unless I'm missing it. But someone wanted to know about pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, so pre-existing conditions are typically excluded. Here, I'll scroll down a little bit here. When they have not been, when they're chronic and known at the time of enrollment. So something like an ear infection that maybe has happened randomly in the past, and then maybe your pet experiences another ear infection during the time that you have a policy. If there's a gap in the recurrence, usually 12 months is what they'll look at, then there's no pre-existing condition considered there. So I will also note that if your pet has an issue, say you have a dog that has allergies at the time of enrollment, that doesn't preclude you from getting coverage. You can still enroll for any accident and illnesses unrelated to the allergies. It may just mean that through the process of enrollment, they would determine that the allergy coverage is not eligible for the policy, but a future accident or illness that may result unrelated to allergies is certainly reimbursable and eligible for coverage.
And sorry if you said this and I missed it, but in terms of the pre-existing conditions, I heard you say like if about 12 months goes by and they haven't had that issue again, then they wouldn't consider it pre-existing. But is there a look back period? So if I'm signing up my dog today, do they look back, you know, say 6 months or something to determine if there are any pre-existing conditions?
There's not an official review when you enroll. Sometimes it just is based off of the claims when you submit them. I always recommend if you have pet records when you're ready to enroll, you can upload them right to the Pet Cloud. That makes processing any claims and clarity to questions related to any pre-existing issues much clearer. It's not quite as refined as in the human health space yet, where vets don't consistently document conditions in all the same ways. So sometimes it does take a personal review with FIGO for them to help clarify. But There is not an established look back period to answer your question. Typically, they use that 12-month though as a guide for determining something that would be considered chronic or known at the time of enrollment.
Okay, thank you. And then I have another question here. It says, if I retire, will the coverage still be offered?
So for the pet insurance policies, the answer is these are completely portable from that standpoint. So yes, you can continue to keep your coverage if you've enrolled and then you choose to retire, which lucky for you, I would say, if you get to retire. I'm waiting for that myself.
And does the same go for if you just termed with Racine County and you didn't retire, you just left employment altogether?
Yes.
You could still port it. You just wouldn't
Yes.
necessarily get that discount anymore, right?
Exactly. Yes. At some point you may lose the discount, but FIGA would reach out to you if there were any changes like that on your policy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I don't see any other questions coming through. So I will just say that whatever information that you send out to us, Shelley, after this presentation, I'll make sure to link it on our website along with the flyer. On the flyer, everybody, is where you'll find that QR code that you can get into the website that Shelley was showing us. And then I'll also put the recording of this on there as well for in case you want to re-listen to it or for anybody that wasn't able to come today.
That sounds great.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. And thanks for entertaining the conversation today.
Well, you're very welcome. It's a really good service, so we're happy to do it. Everybody have a good rest of your day.